they're still sentient beings. They still feel the pain, they smell the fear. This generation, I think, shooting, as in game shooting, will go. Like the vegan movement's only getting bigger and stronger. To breed something into existence to then shoot for fun, for monetary gain, that's where it has to be pulled up and gone, whoa, whoa, whoa. There's no love for these animals because they wouldn't do it.
So this is the pheasant video where I've gone to the pheasant shooters, and Chloe Doughty has said, "You clearly haven't got a clue. The birds are let out of the pens, which, may I add, are usually spacious in natural surroundings, being fed a diet that's nutritious. They are free range before being shot, which is better than being brought into slaughter after being kept in cramped environments like the rest of society feeds off supermarket chains." So she's saying that it's okay to free range them and then shoot them, but it's not okay to buy food from the supermarket, basically, buy animals from the supermarket. They get hung upside down, throat slit, with the smell of death and blood surrounding them before their last moments of fear. The birds are checked on every day, fed, watered, and 9 times out of 10 don't have fencing above their heads that you claim they whack their heads off. Well, that's funny because the pictures in the video clearly show them in these boxes, these battery cages. When being shot, which is arguably the quickest way to kill without stress to the animal, the meat tastes and looks better than what butchers get delivered with blue spots from stress. You're spreading misinformation about one of the most humane sports, she said human, but humane sports of culling poultry, but it's obvious you conform to the society where fear and massacre is supported and fed off. Well done to you, sir. You won the award for idiots.
So I don't, like when I used to, shoot animals, because now I only do clay pigeon shooting. If I then put myself into the birds' situation, so what you're saying is just because you're going to put them into luxury and then they've got all the space they needed, so if I was going to be shot as a bird, so you put me into the Hilton, feed me what you can, whatever else, and then you're going to lead me to the guns to be shot anyway. So the welfare of a bird at the beginning is great. You're probably giving it a great life, depending what shoot you go to, but then the ending's still going to be driven over, guns to be shot. And then with the quickest way, being a shooter, I've been shooting 20 years now. If you're a marksman shot, that's great, but I know probably 5 times out of 10 you'll wound the bird, then it has to then be collected by the dog, to be picked up by the dog, to be brought back, and then it'll have its neck broken. But to then find that bird once it's been shot could take, 15, 20 minutes of a bird in agony, and then be brought, then have its neck broken. But what happens if it falls into long grass and the dogs don't find it and they don't retrieve it? But
just lying there not putting a bullet through it, like we say, is
it's shot, but yeah,
is but to then have all, like you say, with the cars running over them in the road, because they're everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
You drive down them lanes, they're everywhere, and then obviously the suffering until it gets picked up, and then, or just to lie there in the freezing cold and die.
But nothing's retrieved until the drive's finished. So for as long as the drive continues flushing over that drive, nothing gets picked up, because then it's not safe to do so, because the guns are still shooting. So once the whistle or the horn's blown, that's when things will start to be retrieved. So it could be 20 minutes, probably half an hour before anything's even retrieved. And then once the guns are then stopped, that's when all the dogs will run in, the Springer Spaniels and whatever else will run in, and then obviously collect what's been shot. But it's only through profit and the love of doing it, because the pheasant, like I said before, hasn't been, it's not native to this country, so it's brought in. Pheasants don't last long after. Once they, they escape or whatever else, then they probably live another year, 6 months, and then they die, because the UK veg don't breed here. So it's not like you're doing it because there's a mass of them. You're literally breeding them into existence, then to shoot for the pleasure of it and the making money scheme. some days can go £1,500 a day to have so many drives and the morning they'll have something to eat. So it's more of a social aspect of it. But you could do that with a simulated game shoot clay pigeons. So everything in the day is the same, bar the
evil.
Do you ever shooting of the animal?
Yeah, the sadistic mindset of I want to shoot this little animal out of the sky. Same movement, same guns.
Exactly the same.
Same social gathering, same food, same drink, same people. Without the evil.
Exactly.
Someone told me that between 40 and 50 million of them are like bred into. Is it every season? Is it between?
Yeah.
Bred
Season,
in?
yeah.
And then you've got people online saying it needs to be done.
I believe it's the 1st of October to the.
March?
No, hang on a minute. Oh, I forgot the shooting season myself. 1st of October to the 1st of February, I believe.
Wow.
I might have to research it. I might have to put that
2
in.
months of it, yeah.
And
they're putting 40 to 50 million of them onto this planet, and then saying that they need to shoot them. They need the meat. They need.
And then what they'll say is the shooter will say yes, but then it helps the environment by helping all the small sunbirds, butterflies, and whatever else. But on the other hand of it, it will introduce more rats and mice picking up whatever anything else doesn't feed. So on one hand you're saying it helps the environment, but actually there's another side to that, what would actually harm it. On that certain bit of land, you're encouraging so many thousand birds. You're feeding them, but you're also bringing in what I'd call vermin, would be like the rats and mice. But you're encouraging that, but then you'll poison the rats and mice, or you'll poison different things, what then buzzards, birds of prey, such as that will then eat, and then that will kill them. So what you're helping is actually, on the other hand, taking away life through poisoning the vermin, so it doesn't cause any issue with the birds. So then everything else will eat the poisoned rats and mice. There has been convictions with gamekeepers shooting birds of prey and been found and prosecuted. So it's like to protect the assets and the profit, you'll then kill all the other wildlife around it to protect that. But then once the time's right and the season's in, you'll shoot whatever you're protecting anyway. So it's a complete knock-on effect where you're trying to save this one asset, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's an asset, because otherwise they just breed them and sell them as pets, but they're not. Yes, a cave could be spacious, they could have a wonderful life, but they're still shot for pleasure,
so bred
for
into
profit.
and shot, creating a problem, and then dealing with the problems that
Exactly.
the result of that problem that you created.
If it was a farmer and he'd used a bird scarer and he'd done everything he can to protect his crops, and then he got a shooter in and said, look, the pigeons, the crows are decimating it, I'm losing money, then that's a justified reason because I've not brought it in to then shoot. It's almost like a last resort.
Yeah.
Look, I can't keep up with what's happening, can you come in and shoot him? Then okay, fair enough. But if you're breeding something in existence to make money, profit, and then the love of actually shooting them, well then it falls down. So.
Sick. When I went to that shoot and I spoke to you were surprised, weren't you, at the reaction to it?
Oh yeah, definitely, because
I thought, this is going to be quite timid, and it was quite feisty. To be fair, I was thinking, Jesus, I better watch myself here. But why did they react like that? Like, you've been in the game. You was in the game, weren't you, for what, 15 years? You were part of that.
A shoot as a whole. Like, I know what happens at game shoots, but I was more like the rough side of it. Like rough shooting, like pigeons, rooks, crows, foxes. But I've got friends and family who have done game shooting, and friends who are gamekeepers. Now going plant-based and not shooting animals anymore. I'm still friends with them, but obviously my opinion from the last 20 years has changed now, and now it's the justification of doing it is where I am now. So if it's last resort, then it is what it is. But if something's then brought into existence to then be shot, then where's the fairness? Where's oh, okay, well, this is why we've done it. There's no justification other than the love of it and tradition. But this, in this day and age, surely people should step back from what they was born in and go, actually, is it ethical? And not go, oh yeah, 'cause my dad did it, or my uncle did it. Let's really think about what's happening and the knock-on effect to the wildlife in the area, and not bring it in just to shoot for fun and games.
Yeah. It's if there was a reason to do it, they wouldn't have reacted like that, would they?
No.
So it's like they would literally just be like, look, this is what we're doing.
Oh right, yeah.
We do.
Let's go back to the question.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Sorry.
We're doing it, but listen, come and have a look. This is what we're doing. This is the reason why. But instead, you get called names. You get charged at. You get videos come out, videoing me.
Yeah,
Why,
but
man? Speaking from experience, what you reckon that is?
it's only through trying to hide something. Because if that was me, and I was a gamekeeper, and yourself would approach me, I'd have said, look, this is what we do, warts and all. If you don't agree with what I'm doing, well, there's nothing I can change your mind of, but this is what it is, warts and all. This is what we do on a day. This is what happens. Why don't you come with me after this or whatever else? At the minute, there's a shoot on, so I'd rather you didn't cause me issues, whatever else, but I'll have your number and I'll show you everything. I've got nothing to hide. Mm-hmm. But then to go through the thing of name calling, the hidden, the secrecy, then it's obviously you're doing something you don't want the mass to know.
That one probably was because I give them a bit of shit before, but at the same time, surely they would then want to defend themselves.
Yeah, exactly. By
like,
saying, actually,
I saw that last one, but look, no, this is what it really is. This is what it really is. But instead, it's just a reaction.
Yeah,
it's like an aggressive reaction. When you was part of them and you was in this game, did you ever like come across any of that before, or would anyone talk about it, or would they be like, would they make jokes or anything like that, or was it just?
Oh yeah, you'd have.
On,
no. Like obviously, if you're a part of something, you won't ever have the aggro. What you like, you know, obviously you'd have like the little jokes and whatever else, but it wasn't hostile. So that was when you said that you was going to pursue it. I said to you, oh no, people won't want to cause you grief. Not just that, it's gun licensing at the minute is getting more and more strict. So when you went and you was faced with hostility, that shocked me, and it kind of disgusted me. Even though I'm not a part of like the shooting of animals, I'm still a clay shooter. I've still do shooting. So from that side of it, I only ever saw the nice meet and greeting, the getting on with. I didn't expect it'd be so hostile for yourself to enter that world, really. I could understand from like the hunting side of it, but not the shooting side of it. I never thought you'd meet the aggression. With a sabbing, I thought, because it's like so many years of it. Then it's a known aspect.
Maybe it's because the sabbing is expected. They get them every week.
True. But shooting's never really.
Shooting, they've probably never seen it before in their life. But at least some people now know that bird bullying goes on.
But in my eyes, if you do something, you should expect that there's going to be the other side. So just because what you do and you enjoy doesn't mean you're right. You're going to have the other side question you. And me personally, in life, there should be the opposite side, keeping you in check with what you're doing. It's no good being in an echo chamber and we're all shooters, because 9 times out of 10 you'll probably have the cruelty come into it, but no one's saying nothing because you're all as one. But if there's another side coming into it and saying, hang on, well, what's the practice here, and you're justifying it, then you're talking about it. and it was like our first podcast. I went in and I was thinking I'd be, oh yeah. Then you only asked me, well, who's keeping numbers?
How do you measure it?
How do you measure it? And then all of a sudden, I thought I had all these questions, and it's, oh no. Well, actually, well, no. Before you know it, you've not got an argument, and you've got to question everything.
Yeah.
It's a freedom of speech. If you're for something, you've got to expect someone to give it you from against, and then you might not fully agree, but at least you've had the conversation. But if you then cut the conversation out and tell someone to go or whatever else, or meet the aggression,
You're making yourself look worse.
exactly. If anything, you've lost the argument before it's even started.
Of course, yeah.
You've lost every credible bit of thing because you've used the aggression. Instead of saying, this is what I do, like it or lump it.
Yeah. First they didn't answer the second one. First they didn't answer. Then they didn't answer. They said, I'm having my lunch. Then they wouldn't answer on the third question. I said, yeah, but is it the shooting of the birds? Before I know it, the woman's come out and has called him with the W. And I'm like, what does that say, man? Do you know what I mean? What does that?
It just says I've got nothing else to say to you.
It's
But on that footage, I believe one of the main people of the shoot were there, but didn't come over, and that then shines a whole new light on it, because if the main one's there, he should have come over, introduced himself, and said, look, I understand you've got this view. I might not change the view, but this is what we're doing. So do you want to talk about it or don't you want to talk about it? Then that gives them the ball in your court. If you say, well, actually, I do. Can we set a date up and then we'll talk about it? But none of them have said, well, let's have a sit down then and talk about our views.
Just, I'm not interested, sorry, can you leave?
Or that. But if you've got nothing to hide, then why not? Because if anything, you going and filming, that could have shined better for them than for you. If it was all
free
open.
Advertising, what's the problem? It's free advertising.
If you've got nothing to hide, be open. And simple as that. As long as you can justify something and not be in an echo chamber, you may not agree, but you may have certain things you go, okay, now you've shed light on that, I understand that, but I don't agree with the end product, but I know why you do it. But if everyone just kicks off and says that, then it doesn't solve anything. But I think they deep down know what they're doing. They can't justify it, and that's what it is. If you then say, well, why do you shoot birds? And on the film, the one says, yeah, but what we're doing is legal. So if the Labour government now ban it, are they still going to do it, or are they going to call it a different thing?
From your experience, what would you say?
Well, me personally, they'll if something's banned, like shooting, okay, the day will change. They won't publicise it and whatever else, but it will still happen.
Yeah. They're hiding behind the law, aren't they?
Yeah.
If it got banned, it would just be swept under the carpet.
It's the same before the Hunting Act in 2004. When I used to follow the hunt as a kid with my dad, you'd have all the propaganda, if it's banned, all the horses will have to be destroyed, the hounds will all have to be destroyed, tradition's gone, the big thing. Well, when the hunting ban come in, well, nothing changed, because the tradition was still there, the hounds are still there, the horses are still there, but all they had to do was stop killing the fox and lay a trail. But from your side of it now, you've gone and I've looked and Sabine, the places where they've gone to lay the trail, could they have laid the trail?
You seen it in the video, didn't you, on one of them? It was, you couldn't have got through there with what do you call it, a big hoe?
Yeah, a machete.
Like you couldn't have got through there. And I was just learning about it at the time, of what they actually do, and they are supposed to have a clear path on the people who lay the trail. So if anyone don't know, obviously it's getting a scent in it and running the scent through the woods, basically, so that the dogs can chase it. But it was actually just a bramble bush, deep as well. Do you know what I mean? It was, you couldn't have got through, you couldn't have crawled through there in a suit of armour, do you know what I mean?
And then there's a hollering, and then there's the making the noises to make the fox flee out of cover. And then there's terrier men. Well, why would you need terrier men on a drag hunt? Because they're the ones who then dig the fox out the earth. So why have a need for them If it's only a drag and everything's above board, why have we got men waiting with terriers and shovels
Bullies on quads.
and going into the ground where the huntsman is? I believe when the hunt ban come in 2004, it wasn't to do with animal welfare. It was more of a political thing to hit the countryside with after the 80s with the when Thatcher closed the mines. I believe the backbenchers only supported to get what Blair wanted out of it, and I do believe in one of his books he released after being in government. He said he wished he never touched hunting because of the issues he faced after it, the backlash of it.
Yeah.
So I don't believe it was banned under animal welfare bill. I think if it was banned now, if the ban hadn't happened and it was now, I believe it'd be a lot stricter. But all the hunting paternity have done is literally wrecked it for themselves by not following the law. I'm not saying all hunts don't follow the law, but the ones who are monitored by the SABs are finding and filming things what aren't quite right. I understand the hounds are bred to then follow the scent, and to stop them from what they're bred to do over hundreds of years of breeding, I understand that would be difficult as a huntsman, as a whipper-in to control. But if that's the case, then you should know your limitations as a huntsman, where the hounds are. But I think, don't quote me on it, but believe the Hunting Act, you can have as many accidents as happens.
Oh, one of them.
But if there's any demise of hunting, anyone who hunts, any demise, you've got to look at yourselves and think, well, why are we? There was footage come out about 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know what the hunt is. I think it's a veil of something. It was filmed laughing, joking with all the hounds, and the hounds, and they dug the fox up and then threw to the hounds.
Brace! There's a brace!
Seen it?
Well, when I've followed hunting as a kid, I was always taught that the hounds were great at the survival of the fittest. So if a fox could run away, well, it's healthy, it's got past the hounds, lives another day. And then the diseased and elderly ones will get hunted, and it would be one lead hound would bite the neck, and then that's that. But as I've got a bit older and questioned it, well, if that's the case and that was what was happening, why are we digging foxes out of the ground? If it was only to chase it and the fox would get away and end the story, we move on to the next one. Why are we digging it out of the earth to then kill it? That's the question.
I put that video in one of the videos, and it was from Wiltshire, I believe.
Is it Wiltshire?
And it's a brace in it. They found two. And a brace is when they find a mating couple in it. And they chucked it and they were laughing. There was women on that video laughing.
So then people then round him side will then say, yeah, but that's justified. Well, it's not, especially after the ban. It's been banned, 21 years? Well, they should have the whole force of the law thrown at them, but they don't. So if something's banned tomorrow, every other person in the country has to follow that law. So what makes anyone in the countryside any different? And the thing of the jobs in the countryside, hunting, has never changed. There's still going to be farriers who shoe the horses.
And these bullies who've replied to these videos going, nothing illegal here, nothing. I wonder what their opinion would be on fox hunting then. I wonder what because don't tell me they're going to turn around and go, oh no, that's bad, but that's okay. The pheasant one's okay, but the foxing one's bad because the Queen said. 15 years ago, whatever it was.
It's let's have some respect for ourselves to think what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You can't have it both ways. If you can't hide beyond the law, and then when the law's changed, just do what you want anyway, and then hide it from the masses, and kind of like dress it up as this one thing for people then to go, oh no, it's banned. Well, if it's banned, why is there certain aspects of the hunt still happening, like terrier men, so on and so forth? okay, the police are stretched at the minute, but surely if they went and jumped on just, I don't know, randomly picked out a hunt to then go and follow, make sure they're hunting legally, which you can drag. If there's terrier men, then why are you here? Why is there terriers? But these things don't seem to be picked up. So I don't know what the answer is, but obviously going back now 20 years as an adult myself, looking at it, now it's been banned and it still happens, and there's still things happening and whatever else. Whereas huntsmen been prosecuted, but if people are being prosecuted and they're still happening, unfortunately, the only thing should happen now is it be tightened up, restricted, because they've had 20 years more than what they said they would if it was banned. It still goes on. If people are still being charged for it, then there's obviously an issue. It's not strong enough. If they can't respect the law of what the law's been made to do, well, they've only got themselves to blame. If certain hunts are being dropped on and the subs are sabbing it and they're still breaking the law, then what's the answer? You reckon it for yourselves. The tradition's going to go because if you lot can't control yourselves and the bloodlust of catching me. I think so. You know what I mean? You can't label it as one thing and then do another and then expect the masses to say, oh no, it's because when I used to follow it when I was like 10, say to 15, subs to me was like, bloody hell, it's sabbing, bloody, and haven't they got a job to go to, or haven't they got this, haven't they got that?
We've heard that one.
So it's like, haven't they got nothing better to do? Which But now as an adult, and I think actually, hang on a minute, they're doing the police's work. Because the police ain't going to keep coming into the countryside. It's impossible to go everywhere on the
And they wouldn't have the
days.
same setup?
No. Yeah, of course. So if anything, I've got respect for them because of going out of all weathers to have the welfare in mind. If you then say, well, yeah, but foxes do this, foxes kill me chickens, we'll just build bigger pens or safer pens. You can't stop an animal from doing what it's been put on the earth to do. Okay, it does a destruction, but it'll kill like a house of hens or chickens or whatever else, and only take one. But that's what it's designed to do. So you either get safer perimeters, but then if it's on a mass scale, you're only protecting your asset to make money anyway. Because you wouldn't have mass of anything unless you was going to sell them. And the end result's the same. They all die to then profit something else. So that's what I can't justify. You're creating a problem, blaming the wildlife around it, shooting the wildlife to then do what you want with that end product anyway.
Incredible, isn't it? So they're creating a problem, which then causes more problems, and then they're trying to solve the problems that they've created, justifying what they're doing because of the problem that they created in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the aspect of the game shooting, like the countryside pursuits where people meet up, and the social aspect of it, and people say it's good for my mental health, whatever
It's
else.
good for my mental health.
So that's what they'd say, where any club would help that. There's plenty of pubs in the countryside to have that interaction. But the only thing that I'm against, by all means, go and meet up, whatever else. I'm just against the rearing of something to then shoot it for profit. Obviously, I'm not against all shooting. If there's something injured, maimed, it can't be, then it's a whole different ball game. But to breed something into existence to then shoot for fun, for monetary gain, that's where it has to be pulled up and gone, whoa, because then it's a tradition, but then you're making money out of it. The other thing what people would say is, yes, but look at the landscape shooting's provided, the hedgerows, the woodlands being planted, the conservation work shooters do. No, yeah, they do, but it's not on public land.
It's their own land?
It's their own land, which is then.
We look after the
held by-
countryside.
So we look
You don't
after
volunteer. You don't volunteer to sort out our roads. You know what I mean?
So-
You trample all over them, and you look after your own edges, don't you?
Yeah, of course. So it's like, yeah, it's great for their own land they own, which is great, but we don't go to the local park and then cut that grass and do the edging
It's like saying to me, why are you violating them dogs in the garden? Listen, man, I need to do my hedges. I need to fix the fence, man. I need to look after my garden. Do you know what I mean?
So we're in some ways grateful that the landscape benefits from shooting what was probably 100 years ago, then that is a good side what comes out of it, but not the product, what then the shot animals. But surely what happens 100 years ago, 200 years ago, it's like the thing with tradition. Oh, my dad did it, but then I dare say slavery. People at the time would have said, yeah, but it's tradition.
It's the way it is.
My old man did it, my granddad did it, why can't I do it? But as time's changing, but I think as a shooting as a community has to get its shit together, because unless they're going to say, well, this is okay, I understand what you're saying, without this, probably this generation, I think shooting, as in game shooting, will go. I think people are opening their eyes up to it now, like the vegan movement's only getting bigger and stronger, and the questions are being asked more, and so I think, like with the likes of simulated game shoots with clay pigeons, I think once they get sorted, like with the clays being better for the environment, obviously the different shots, I believe by 2030, lead shots banned for everything other than a small number of Olympic shooters. So everyone's going to have to turn over to steel shot. So lead shot will be banned. So that will be better for the environment. So if everyone just, like the game shooters that is, if they went over to simulated game shoots, they've still got everything bar the killing of a
The
bird.
satanic part, yeah.
But then they say, what about the jobs? Okay, gamekeepers on a whole will probably lose their jobs. But on the other hand, if there's more shoots and whatever else, surely they'll just transition over and there'll be more work because more shoots will then open on the land. But if they do lose their jobs, unfortunately, a lot of people lose their jobs. Just because of losing the job happens doesn't mean things don't happen.
Just going off topic, Marco, when you turned vegan, I don't know if it was at that time, but at some point when we had the chat and you switched and you started looking into it, you told me a story about a cow, and it stuck in my brain a little bit, but I can't remember quite what happened. What was that? And did that pop up after or before? What was it now? Was it like newborn or something?
Yeah, so this goes back when my old man used to follow the hunt. So what the hunt do, they do a service where to feed the hounds, they'll go to the local farmers who've got like a lame horse or whatever else needs to be put down. Instead of ringing the vet, what will cost them X amount of money, they'll just call the local hunt. The local huntman will put the animal down. In exchange of taking the animal away to then feed the hounds with, if whatever is wrong with him can be fed to the hounds, basically. So it could be horse, cow, whatever's fallen. So one day I went to this dairy farm, and the person I was with said, "Oh, we've got to put down a Frisian bull." And at the time I was 14, something like that, did a work experience. I was like, "Oh, why is that?" He said, "Because the bull is worthless, because I need the obviously the male one juices because he can't obviously give any milk or whatever else." So with that, we walked into the barn, and the bull was dragged out. This small Frisian bull wouldn't be very old. Was dragged out, and all the other cows was still there around it. So everything was all caged back, bar this one calf. So then it was put down with a bolt gun and just flung into the back of a transit. But I remember as a kid feeling the atmosphere in the barn was horrendous. All the other cows was kicking off. The whole place was horrendous. And then even then as a kid, I said, shouldn't we have took it round the back or not done it in front of everything? Not do it in front of its herd, its mother, whatever else. It was just brought out, dealt with, put in the back of a van. That's just how it was. Even as a kid, I thought, bloody hell, that felt very cold. That felt very like there was no feelings. It was just a product of that environment. It's worthless in money, so it doesn't really matter. That's how he come across to me, and even then I thought.
And the parents or the rest of the group were
The whole barn was ballistic. It was ballistic, and then that's when I thought, there is a link. They're not just animals. There is that.
Do you think that do you reckon that was a big seed planted for?
Oh yeah, because obviously, I think going shooting, rough shooting, pigeon shooting, whatever else, you're only seeing what you've shot, and it's kind of like a single pigeon. But when that kind of
shot?
brought it, when that brought it into me, then where it was like the maternal instinct is that strong, but the whole place erupts. It knows what's happening. It knows what's happening. The whole herd knows what's happening because it's penned against everything else. It's brought out the pen. Everything's locked behind things, and when we're shooting, it's young. So that's why you're going ballistic. If they couldn't feel or sense what was happening, they wouldn't have reacted how they was reacting. So before they brought the bolt gun out, the whole place was up in arms. It was a mad energy to be in, to see. I never thought farming was like that until that happened, and I was like, okay. Even as a kid, I thought this is for monetary gain. There's no love for these animals because they wouldn't do it. It's monetary gain. If they never was brought up on a farm, they wouldn't give a shiny shite. But because of their money's wrapped up in that farm, that's their job. So obviously they're going to say, oh, we love these animals. I'm not saying all of them would harm them, even though there is footage of what comes out, they treat them like shit constantly.
But they just don't care?
But they don't care because it all comes down to profit, and they don't see them as animals, they see them as assets. And I think that's where it's dangerous. That's where people like yourself who've gone in, videoed it and whatever else, it can't be a lie because you're filming it. And the thing is, it's okay for them to say, yeah, but that's on that farm. This farm, we treat them lovely. It seems to be a pattern, whether it's on a huge mass scale or a small family farm, the practices are still the same. You're still being found out to do stuff.
Is still the same, isn't it?
Because whether that's because you've done it that long and you don't get attached because of what you're doing to them, but they're still sentient beings. They still feel the pain, they smell the fear. It's just the same set of whether it's mass scale or small.
Why have you got to pay tax for people to give a shit? It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
The only difference is you chat waffle and you pay tax.
I think
not you.
I think I think where it falls down, people when they eat stuff, they just think of it being this small, lovely farm. Cows are happy, birds are cheeping, and then it just comes in this cellophane packet and they just eat it. People don't want to know the horrors behind it, and when they are faced with it, a lot of them will turn vegan because I think, Jesus, I didn't think it was going to be like that. And then there's like vegetarians will say, oh no, we won't eat meat, it's horrendous, but we'll still eat eggs, even though all the male chicks are all killed and forced into an incinerator alive. But no matter what practice it is, it's like the joke, free range. Oh, it's free range eggs, But when you realise what free range means, we've got a little bit more land, tiny bit more land, but it's still the same practice.
More
what
cage.
happens.
They've got more cage.
We've got more. So just because I've got more thing, oh, it's fine then. I'll still have its eggs. But if you're going to eat an egg, you might as well eat the roughest egg, the caged one, because there's no better welfare.
It's still violation. It's still exploitation, and it's still exploiting the mother hen. When you seen, obviously, I didn't hear that story until after. I think it must have resonated because a lot of people do this. I do it where I've gone through a conversation. I've gone, oh, I've just remembered something from like 10 years ago. That's just popped in my head that I didn't even think about. And these seeds get planted for a time, and then they all come together and they click. So obviously, an example was like I thought of like my cousin and my auntie talking about sausages in the car, and I know where I was at that time, and it just sparked back into my head. I was like, so obviously I think is what's happened with you. You've come to the realisation, and then he's gone, oh, I remember that cow, I remember that bull that got shot in front of you know what I mean? And it all comes together. So
of course.
Would you say like before you changed, you wouldn't think nothing of anything you saw, but then kind of once you did change, you then started to see what it was?
I think when you're exposed to it, and you're in it, I don't think you see the impact. It's only when you take a step back and you think, well, actually, why do we do it again? And then you look at it and think, well, it's A, for profit, and then B, because you like to shoot it. But then you're thinking other reasons why, how to get round it to justify your actions. When you really look into it, it's only just through pure pleasure and
fun.
Yeah, of course it is. But all the fun can be had clay shooting. So whenever we're both free, Jake, I'd like you to come with me to a clay shoot, and then I'll show you like, shooting. You can have a go, and then say, well, we've got the alternative anyway. So why do we still do that one?
Yeah.
If you've got an alternative, which still gets the money in, shooters will still go there. Why are we going down that route?
The sadistic route.
Why are we still shooting them? You can still make money.
But you know what? I remember being in Vietnam on the back of a bus, and I spoke to this Aussie chap, and he was like, the reason I'm saying this is because you probably think people look at you and go, oh, you know, he's bad because he used to do this and that. At the end of the day, everyone used to bully something. You know, we used to bully, I used to bully chicken, for instance. But the reason I said it is because I was on the back of this bus, and it reminded me of when this bloke was like, I've been to Cambodia, and you can shoot grenade launchers or something, or rocket launchers or something like that, and you can blow up sheds with petrol in, and if you pay more, you can blow up cows. And I was like, no way, man, that's class. Like, how much is that? And he's like, $2,000. And I was like, $1,000 to blow up a cow. Like, it's a bit much, but it's probably fun, like, do you know what I mean? Not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that if I then went to Cambodia and someone passed me a grenade launcher, I don't know if I could have done it, but what resonates, what goes on in there is it's like, why did I not see that as like stabbing a cat or punching a dog, do you know what I mean? Blowing a cow to pieces. And now he's absolutely mental. He was laughing, I was laughing about it, thinking, oh, that'd be good, that'd be sick, do you know what I mean?
It's like what, you know, going back to the game shooting. What's the difference between the dogs that you'd love at home, feed them, then the pheasants that you're shooting? They're both sentient beings, but one gains profit, but because it's a dog, then it's allowed to be loved and took care of. But because if it's a sheep, cow, whatever else, it's because everyone's known it as being food. But we're all sentient beings, but just through culture, it's okay.
Someone told me to do it. Someone said it's okay.
Someone told me to love the dog, love the cat. But then when it's a cow, well, unfortunately it's a cow, so it's got to have a bolt to its head. Different cultures. It baffles me when people in this country will then say how barbaric it is in Korea where they eat dogs. How dare they eat dogs? Well, in my eyes, if you're eating every other meat, well, you might as well eat a dog because there's no difference. It's just because in this culture we love dogs, but in that culture they just see it as like a cow or a pig, no better thing. Which to be honest, going down that route, when you exposed the gas chambers, I didn't even know pigs died in gas chambers. That was a huge eye opener for me. I just thought it was all bolted or whatever else. When you showed me the footage of a gas chamber, I was like, what on earth? Because all this is kept secret, so the masses don't see. But isn't it strange how the vegan men is put against the wall and shot, being, why are they doing this? But then all this madness is happening in secret and no one wants to know because of the issues around it, because they don't want to see things being hurt or shot. They'd rather keep their mouth shut and hide in the darkness, in the shadows, because they don't want to see it. Then they just victimise a vegan of just poking his nose in and being the issue. But what people need to see is people when sacrifice their own lives to then help animals, to then be slated day in, day out.
And they pay $3,000 for the dog's leg.
Yeah, exactly. Just because it's a different culture to what we have. Oh, they eat dogs, horrendous. Then they'll go and eat a chicken dinner or a beef dinner.
And what's even more baffling than the culture thing, like the Asians and the Africans eating that and that, what's even more baffling is when it's the same, not even the same country, the same county, and you've got kids catapulting ducks and getting done for it, and everyone's up in
arms.
And then you've got these idiots, these bullies, who are shooting the birds in the same county, but they're allowed to do it because they've got a gun, but the kids aren't allowed to do it with a catapult. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's like, well, are the police in the wrong for chasing the duck catapulters then? Is that what you're saying? Do you know what I mean?
I think the reason why it's frowned upon is because no one's getting money at the end of it. Because the kids are shooting the ducks with catapults on the canal. Oh, it's horrendous, bastards are shooting the animals. But you can go up the road, pay a bloke.
Breed them into existence and then catapult them, and it's fine.
And if you pay £1,000 for the privilege of shooting them, it's fine. But if a kid then shoots it as a catapult, oh, they're cruel, but you can shoot them because you've paid the money. So it's just because you haven't paid the landowner money to shoot that bird, it becomes a problem. So so please tell me where one stops and one starts.
Would it have anything to do with the 30 billion that goes into the government pockets?
Well, exactly.
What you was on about?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that
exactly.
hunting in general, or is that pheasant
No.
shooting?
No, so that's shooting as a whole brings the government in revenue £30 million a year. It also helps like hotels in the area. So it is that area what benefits. But all I'd like to see is, yeah, it's all well and good and bad, but just take out the killing. Just take out the killing, put clays. So when lead is banned, whether lead's ever made a huge difference to the environment, I don't know. I'm not that clever, but I've never known anyone die of lead poisoning. But it's the way of the world. So now when steel shot's introduced, if they can get clays what's biodegradable to a point where within a few, months or a year, it goes back as compost, then I'd rather everyone turn over to clay shooting and simulated game shoots. You've still got all the pleasures, there's still the community-led side of it, but you've just not got the mass killing. Sure, and you've still got paying for hotels, you've still got everything, but just not the killing. But then if they say, but no one would do it anymore, that's where the issue is, and people don't want to do it because they're not killing. So if they're not killing and they don't do it,
They haven't evolved.
That then raises eyebrows. If everything's the same, bar the killing, but they don't want to do it anymore.
These people, they love the thrill of seeing or causing the misery of someone else. Do you know what I mean? That's all it is, isn't it? They haven't evolved, man. These people, they know they could go and play COD on the PlayStation or go to a simulator shoot or go clay pigeon shooting, they want that death, man. They want to they want to kill some. I would say something. They want to kill these beings, man.
I mean, obviously, sorry to overtalk you, but just while it comes into your mind, I'll forget. But then the other thing what people will say is, yeah, but people eat the meat, so it's not wasted. But I'd love to know the amount what's wasted and gone into an incinerator because it hasn't been used to what has been eaten. I'd love to know the figures, because if you're shooting 1,000 bird day or 500 bird day, and there's only probably 50 people in the whole shoot that day, including guns, beaters and whatever else, where's all the other lot going? I mean, you say, oh, no, it's given to game dealers. Well, they can give them to game dealers, but who's got the time to pluck and gut every one of them birds and still sell them? But then pheasant really isn't in supermarkets as much, so it's only going to be butchers who are selling them and game dealers. Then they'll say, no, what we do, we sell them to Europe. But Europe sell them a hell of a lot cheaper than what we do. That's why they always undercut us. Czech Republic always do it. Hungary. So whatever gets sent abroad is great, but they're losing money on them birds anyway. So what is eaten to what is wasted, I'd love to know the facts and figures. So before that is used as an argument for pheasant shooting or game shooting, then that's something what needs to be found out, because you can't then say, oh no, people eat it.
Does that then give me the right to breed 10,000 puppies into existence, rip the skin off them and use them as doormats and say, they ain't getting wasted? Do you know what I mean? I'm making a doormat. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. So if there's an alternative to something which is exactly the same thing bar the killing, then why don't you just do that?
Sadism?
Because
Sadism?
because that's the only difference. I'm not saying we can't shoot, because I'm a shooter myself and I love shooting, and I hope I'm shooting for a long time. But there's nothing personal. When people get angry and go, nothing personal, but just take a step back and think, hang on, do I need to do this? Is this what I'm doing is right? And then that's when you question yourself. Don't worry about what your mate says or your dad says or whatever else. No, shooters have to be together, and if you want me, so we'll all die out. No, there's an alternative there.
Many.
But like with the simulated game shooting, that's there for a reason. It's probably because people haven't got the money to then game shoot, so it's more of a working class. But if there's that element, because obviously not every shooter agrees with shooting animals, so just take a step back and think there's an alternative there. Shall we go and have a look at that? And then, as time goes on, because there's calls for banning it, I think banning it's a wrong thing to go down altogether, because all it do is just drive it underground. People do it regardless. And I think banning it, I don't think banning anything really as such is a good idea.
Because then it's going to be 20 years of the fox hunting saga, isn't it? It's going to be another 20 years of SABs going round saying stop bullying birds, get them arrested, get fined, back to it. So.
But even that, and you know, when things go to court, they're always thrown out anyway. Like there's that one person who, like assault on SABs. They get to court, it can be like 5 or 7 counts of assault, and then they'll be acquitted.
Yeah. It happened to my mate Laura down Dorset a couple of weeks ago. She got assaulted, 7 counts of assault, and the geezer got away with it because it was private land. Bullies, and mate, I've never seen such hostility, man. I mean, I've been to some rowdy football games, man, and I've been in some positions where you expect such hostility, man. And what I seen down there was nuts, man. People blocking the road, people swearing, people saying this, saying that, charging at me, man. I was just there with the camera. Blokes coming, trying to charge at me. I didn't do anything or nothing like that because of the repercussions to the girls I was with. But it's shocking, man. It's shocking, and then there's that link between the animal cruelty, the animal violation, the animal exploitation, and the violence towards humans as well. It's no surprise. We're talking about your veganism, mate, and obviously you turned. How long's it been now? 3 years?
No, it only that long, something like that.
these days you don't know what's 10 years or 3 years there, but it's probably been what?
It's just justifying. It's like, you know, for the vegan police out there.
Let's talk about the vegan police from someone who probably doesn't understand it on a deep level. I mean, it's not hard to grasp, but, you just probably haven't looked into it as much as me or other people. So, the vegan police. Let's start, man. Why did you go vegan, Mark?
From coming on the podcast to then trying to justify it to you, kind of then made me question what I was doing. At the time, I thought veganism pretty much is don't exploit animals for its goods such as wool, honey, and then the meat or anything what you'd gain from that animal being on the earth, and just leaving it alone. So that aspect, you know, understood. Where I am, I wouldn't probably call myself a true vegan yet, is because whatever leather shoes I had previously, I still wear them. Not that I buy more, which I won't ever buy more of it, but because I've got it at the moment, until it wears out, I'll still use it.
Arrest him.
So I think on that thing, I probably ain't. But as in what I eat is plant-based.
You won't buy you know
no shampoos.
Well, this is so
like
the vegan police's argument, just going off topic, is that someone must know the definition. They must know what veganism specifically is for them to turn. So you've said you turned because you had a conversation with me about shooting. You realised that shooting is bad. Now, if I was to show you a shooting video and you was a shooter and say, look how bad, sorry, if you wasn't a shooter and I said, look how bad that is, their argument is no one would change, no one would really become a vegan if they saw that footage. They'd only become a vegan if they knew what the definition was. So I suppose what you've just said there is living proof. This is beside all the other proof that we've got, that you don't actually need to know what the definition is of veganism to be led towards veganism.
Because obviously having been, you know, done rough shooting from a young age, being shown how to good skin rabbits, how to good pluck birds to eat. Stuff like that doesn't really shock me because I've done it. So it wouldn't shock me into seeing a video. But if we walk down the high street and we stopped members of the public and said, oh, do you know what veganism means? People haven't got the time to even talk to you, but say, not today, thank you. But if you held a big TV screen up with things being slaughtered on, it catches people's attention. So if you're going to say, excuse me, yeah, but veganism is, you've lost them straight away. People haven't got the time, no one's interested. If they see a 30-second footage of, I don't know, a slaughterhouse, they go, Jesus, I never thought it was going to be like that. They go home then, and then they look at the plate and they go, and that seed's planted, and then
it's on the algorithm, and then they start looking at stuff, and then they see monkeys chained up, and then they see whales getting slashed open, and then they see donkeys on their last legs in Egypt, you know what I mean? And then it leads to vegan. And this is what I can't understand. I don't understand how hard it is to understand that this is what leads people to it.
Yeah,
showing cruelty, showing violence, having conversations about cruelty, like we did, which has now led you to nearly throwing away your leather products and becoming
well, to be honest, I ain't got much leather. Yeah, you know, I don't wear leather jackets or nothing like that.
This is where the vegan police are coming and say, oh, because Mark Carr's got some leather in, obviously, my old banger. You've got some leather in your wardrobe, and it's just like a never-ending nitpicking game. Then, do you know what I mean? It's like you've started with a conversation on cruelty. We've had a conversation. You've gone away. I didn't even know that you was even thinking about it, or there was even a seed planted. You've come back in 3 months and gone, I'm vegan. And this is what I can't understand. So thank you for debunking yet another myth.
People have to stand back and think, is it justified?
Have you had any backlash from being vegan from the old crew or anything like that?
You know, not really.
Because to go from just a meat-eating, leather-wearing, zoo visiting, and to go from a shooter to a vegan, he's mental, man. What?
Me personally, because I've not, because like going to like family farms shooting. To be honest, the people who I'd shoot with would be family anyway. So, the majority of it, I haven't really faced that. And going to the clay shoots and whatever else. Obviously, I know people there, but they just come on a Sunday, shoot and go home. So I've not really had that. So from a shooting community, I'm not really in a huge amount of that community anyway. And even if I was, they don't pay my bills. So if they can have their opinion, we've all got opinions like arseholes, we've all got one. So I'm not really too fussed. But just be knocking about, you have the oh, he's vegan. Well, I don't walk in a pub and go, oh, bloody hell, he's a pescatarian, he eats fish. So I don't understand why it's like that belittling. They've got to try and belittle you because you've not devouring on flesh. Then surely it should be, well, he's made that choice, so be it. But people are so worried and scared, oh, if I go vegan, so-and-so won't like me anymore. Well, if you don't like you, well, you're never a friend anyway, so if anything, he's done you a favour.
Too bothered about people they don't care about.
So for these people...
They're too bothered about the opinions of the people that they don't think about or care about or resonate with.
But these people won't give you 5 minutes. You might see them and, oh, he's my mate, he is. But if it really come down to it, and you was in the shit, how many of them people who you care about their opinions so much would lift the phone up if you was bad? If you had cancer...
You're scared about what they think if you don't stab a sheep.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You're bothered about their opinion if you stop gassing chickens to death. Your health has been up and down on it over the years, but you had that operation, and then you had to have a checkup for 12 years. What happened on the 12th year? Was it the 12th?
Yeah.
When the doctor did the
yes,
results?
yes, basically, at this moment in time, it may change, but going plant-based, I've got no inflammation as such now in the remainder of my colon, because I had Crohn's colitis and a family history of bowel cancer. Those who've listened to the podcast with Jake, I've gone into the health, so I'm not going to bore anybody with it again, but from Crohn's colitis and family history of bowel cancer, I had to have a large part of my colon removed and was left with a lower part connected to the rectum. But since going plant-based, it's helped me now, and it's I've got no inflammation, no issues. I was speaking to someone because last week I had to have a colonoscopy and an endoscopy, and I was speaking to a lad in there, similar age to me, 34, and I said to him, I said, what have you had to cut out having, because he had Crohn's colitis. No, he had ulcerative colitis he had. And I said, what have you cut out? He said, I can't eat dairy. Straight away, his words was, I can't eat dairy. I said, why, mate? And he said, because it inflames me. Drinking milk inflames me. I said, so what have you turned to? I said, I've gone plant-based. Not got down the thing of veganism, like vegan place would say, yeah, but...
Nino.
Yes, but have you given the definition? I've just said I'm plant-based. And he said, mate, nothing really agrees with me. But if anything, it would be either oat milk or soy milk. And that's not from a vegan. That's just from an issue with your internal organs. So there's got to be some issue. It's like the people on YouTube, Instagram will say, only eat dairy. Dairy is good for you. But isn't it strange how myself, who's had colitis, he's got ulcerative, I've got Crohn's colitis, he's got ulcerative colitis, and he's had to cut out the same thing I had to cut out.
And they never told you?
Because they never told me, but the doctors won't tell you to cut out, you've got to learn it. So when I was eating steak, and it was taking a nightmare to pass, and I was having stomach ache, bleeds, thinking, Jesus Christ, from leaving that to going plant-based, I haven't got any inflammation. I'm not on any tablets to keep it under control. Since the operation, 2011, I've been fine. When I used to eat meat constantly, I still had inflammation in my others and polyps I have to remove, but in my podcast I explain why I keep having polyps, because juvenile polyposis. But since not eating the meat and the dairy, I've not got any inflammation. Not only that, if you haven't listened to the podcast, I'd gone Camastia. Well, that's gone now.
Same. I don't know if we spoke about that.
Yeah,
Mine's gone as well.
We did.
Well, mine went as soon as I. Yeah.
So you haven't got to eat meat to then thrive.
In fact, the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, I like a pint, but we're sat in this pub now. We're both drinking Guinness.
Vegan beer.
And that's the only thing I drink now.
Quality.
So I don't know.
Mark, you've gone from a you've gone from a bully, and we all were, to a vegan. You've gone from a shooter to a vegan, and not just that, a very big plant-based advocate online as well.
If I can just cut in, I'm still a shooter, but just not shooting animals.
And, I do apologise, an animal shooter. What would you say to a bully who no longer wants to bully, or he's maybe thinking about not bullying anymore, and wants to become vegan?
It's just...
who comes from a background like yours?
Just look into what you're doing. And if after even, me tell my tale, and you think actually, the only thing you've got to do is just book shoot days with simulated shoot. You've got every other aspect of your life the same, which would just without the killing.
It's like smoking a vape.
It's simple as that. If something's already there, the answer's already there by doing it. So if it's there and simulating that one, they're probably only simulated through cost, probably. But because we've already made the transition even easier for you, it's not like you've got to set up your own clubs. It's there. So all you've got to do is just stop buying the one what shoots birds and just shoot one what shoots clays.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is just put your money from one thing and put it into another. And then more people do that.
More bullying, man.
Then there's going to be more people who then do simulated shoots. And then when one goes down, the demand decreases, the other one goes up. I think the whole reason the clay shooting come about because for the working class, because before clay shooting come about, before it was a sport, it was more so pheasant shooting.
The real deal.
And it was like the royalty and the very wealthy rich, and all the working class would work on the shoots as gamekeepers, beaters and whatever else. But as the time's gone on and it's more open, that's where the clay shooting's come a bit to simulate the one. But because it's already there, just go there. Everything's done for you now. Just go there instead of going to the one, go to the other, what doesn't kill. And
develop the mentality of they are not objects. Just leave them alone, stop bullying. Mark, you've gone from shooter to vegan, you've gone from bully to vegan, as we all have. It takes a real man to admit and change and acknowledge it. You don't see it very often, so much respect. The test results are in, and you are the one true savage.